So there's been this hidden rule that I've noticed that drops quite a few people out of challenges, and not only that, but makes it more challenging for people like myself. And it's just that one line that you didn't read on the contract, and it might be why you hit your max loss yesterday or even failed another challenge. But if you failed a challenge, I would like for you to listen, please. If you haven't, and you would like to avoid that happening, then I might have something for you if you stick to the very end, right? It's not about psychology, and it actually has nothing to do with strategies whatsoever. And I don't even think I've ever made a video like this before, or really challenged this mindset anyways. It's a rule that I think a lot of day traders misunderstand when it comes to prop firms, and it quietly ends trading accounts, right? So why it might feel personal a little bit, it catches disciplined traders too, right? So imagine you followed your strategy perfectly, or you automated your strategy even. You didn't break any daily rules, and you still unexpectedly ended up failing your challenge, right? And I kept asking some day traders quite a few questions, and none of them, or most of them, didn't really understand the concept of a trailing drawdown. And something that I don't think enough people try to explain properly is what it actually is, right? So it moves, and not only does the trailing drawdown move, but it punishes actual winners. So imagine that you're doing things completely right, you're actually winning, in fact, and you still somehow get punished for it, right? So it follows your highest amount of equity. So let's say you have a $100,000 account, and your drawdown is, let's just say, $95,000. So let's say you make a 5% gain on it, and instead of having 100,000, you have 105,000. Well, now your max drawdown might be $100,000. So that is the absolute lowest that you can ever hit in your trading account ever again, right? So the profit is going to raise the floor to how low exactly you can go with a prop firm account, right? So your pullbacks in your accounts, which are inevitable, unfortunately, are going to become much more deadlier. You can make money, and you can still fail somehow. And it's wild how these things work, but when it comes down to it, they are a business, and they should be treating more of a tool as opposed to a necessity with trading, right? So where a lot of traders, I think, do mess up is that there is a very common and fatal pattern when it comes to trailing drawdowns, right? So early profits themselves can create future losses for you. So if you have very fast days that are green, they might feel safe, and with some of them they might be. Let's say you're trading with Apex, for example. You can hit just one or two trades in a single day, and you can be fine. Not a lot of prop firms are like that, so you really got to pay attention to these rules, which unfortunately can trade overnight as well, right? So a normal loss for you becomes a violation almost, right? So you can be up 3,000, and you can just lose 1,000, and your account is just gone instantly. So how exactly can you stop this? Well, first of all, you can check out the comment section. I have a link to my free newsletter, and then I have a free training module which explains drawdowns, how you can avoid them, and how you can use one of my strategies to help you pass your prop firm challenge and actually help you to get a payout, right? So it's free to join. You got nothing to lose. Go ahead and check it out. So back to my point, there's a fix that I think nobody really wants. And this is another weird thing to think about, right? But you have to take your success and you have to slow it down a little bit, right? So a lot of people say it's a marathon, not a sprint. And even if you run quicker than everyone else, you still have to slow down and go at a slower pace and still be winning. Weird mindset to have, I know, right? But you have to slow it down a little bit. You have to cap, the early and more aggressive upside, right? And after a few green days that you have in trading, reduce your size just a little bit. That is, let's say you actually pass the challenge, first of all, and now you're in a live account. Slow it down a little bit, right? You're going to protect the moving floor And like I said, your objective is capital preservation, to actually survive another day to be able to trade in the first place. So as soon as you lose the account, it's gone, and you have to do that over again. But protect a moving floor, and my win rate did not change after I started to do this. My pass rate did, though, and that's a very important thing, because our goals here is to pass a prop firm, get a payout, right? So here's a rule that I trade by when it comes to this idea and this concept that I have, right? So you trade to survive, not to impress. So your equity is more important than your P&L. The P&L is very significant, and I should tell you to pay more attention to the P&L as opposed to anything else, including your win rate or your risk-reward ratio, which I recommend have at least 1.5 or higher, right? And if you have a day that's flat, still consider that as a win. So if you looked at the market and then you didn't see anything, or the market wasn't giving you anything, if you went to the pond and there weren't any fish in the pond, or they weren't biting, go home and find something else to do. Don't sit there at a pond and try and fish 6 hours unless you just enjoy doing it. I don't know, some people like to fish, but consistency is going to beat speed when it comes to prop firm challenges, particularly, and especially to long-term successful day trading, right? So this passed my last evaluation, and I had a few people that they kept failing back-to-back challenges anyways. And sometimes they would even pass their evaluations, and they'd be in a live account, and then they would still, their behaviors would persist, and then they'd get so close to that payout, and then they'd still fail a challenge, right? So if this clicked, please like the video. It's telling me that I'm actually making useful content that people find helpful, right? Go ahead and subscribe to the channel too. I break rules like this quite often. It's best to avoid them, right? So if you want weekly setups, go ahead and check out my free trading newsletter. I got a link to it in the comment section down below. I put out one trade idea weekly as well, and it's fundamentally built to help you survive prop firms. So please go ahead and check it out, right? But I don't think that a lot of people failed because they rushed, and it's really painful when you seem to follow every single rule, or all of your rules anyways, and the market wasn't supplying something, or it did, right? And you think that you're doing something right because there's all green days, and you just lose a little bit, and then the floor moved, right? So now I finally helped you see it.